Hello and welcome to another edition of the Wayne Hall Show and 516 Productions. We're here with megastar Anthony Malvo, a man who's been around a long time in the reggae business and who's got an upcoming album. And today we're going to talk and find out more about the man behind the music. And so stay with us. It's going to be interesting, it's going to be fun, and I guarantee you, you will learn something about Mr. Malvo today that you didn't know. Definitely. Welcome to the Wayne Hall Show and 516 Productions.
Nice to have me. It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The name Anthony Malvo needs no introduction in a lot of sense because you've been in the music business for quite a while. What stands out to me personally is the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s.
Yeah, when I was going to school and listening your music. But before we get into all of that, tell us a little bit about your upbringing now. You're born, bred Jamaican?
Well, yeah, we're born, bred Jamaican. I was born in Kingston, Jamaica, a place called Papine. And, you know, I started music by going to church. When I was going to church, that's how I start my music thing. You know what I mean? Music to church was the first stage, the first audience. You know what I mean? Everything I learned in the church. I mean, that's where I get to exercise my voice. And then moving to church, you know, moving to school. We went to school and we do a lot of concerts in school, and that was a good vibe again. And then after that, we moved to a sound system called Black Star in my neighborhood. You know, it consists of artists like Brigadier Jerry, Sister Nancy, Brockback, Tiger. You know what I mean? I name a few.
That's right. I mean, names like Brigadier Jerry. Brigadier Jerry is somebody I consider like a father.
Yeah.
In the business.
Yeah, the business.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I used to look forward to when he would, you know, they would go on these tours of the country.
Yeah.
And I would look forward to Brigadier Jerry coming to Yorktown, where I'm from.
Yeah, Yorktown.
Yeah.
I used to go to Yorktown. Yorktown was a good place. People in Yorktown used to love music.
Definitely. All the big
parties,
to play in Yorktown because the park was just a big, you know, like big dance hall. So yeah. But anyway, so you grew up in the church, and I'm finding out that the church, as I talk to artists, has played a big role in the development of a lot of Jamaican artists.
Definitely.
And you, of course, no exception. So you know. But then, what about some of the other influences? What kind of music you listen to growing up?
Well,
you know?
listen to music. I listen to reggae music, as you know, as you say, but I listen to a lot of R&B.
Right.
My favorite reggae artist was Dennis Brown and Freddie McGregor. That was my favorite, you know what I mean? But I listened to it otherwise. Bob Marley was there. You know, I love Bob Marley too, but Dennis Brown and Freddie McGregor was my style. And then for the R&B, it was James Ingram, Stylistic, OJs, and the Manhattans. That was my favorite people.
Right. So yeah, reggae is our thing in the island, but you know, we grew up to a feeding, I like to say, of such a broad spectrum of music. Because, I mean, when you relaxed even on a Sunday back home, you would hear a lot of those artist music playing that you just mentioned. And so they influenced us, and I guess we expressed it through reggae.
Reggae, yeah, definitely. You know? Yeah, because we used to do over in the 80s, we used to do a lot of R&B song in reggae. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it was a good vibe for us, because it break. People used to it already, and then we put it on reggae, so it was a big bang.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So the 80s though, is for some reason where when I think Malvo, I just go back to the 80s.
Right.
Shed some light on the career though. I mean, I'm sure there was more to than the 80s. There was something you mentioned in a previous interview, something about songs in the 90s and stuff.
Yeah, well, the 80s was good. We did a lot of songs, and 80s was my biggest time because the song with me and Tiger, Come Back to Me, it did in 89. That's when we did that song. It was a big song. Then we move on to the 90s, where we start to produce, and we do other songs with Bounty Killer, Sizzler, you name it. We do a lot of songs. Being a Man, you know, we had a good time in the 90s.
Right, because I remember like Bye Bye Love Rhythm Days.
Yeah.
So you had like Come Back to Me.
Come Back, Bye Bye.
Tiger.
We have Greatest Girl Lover.
Greatest Girl Lover.
With that is and Jump and Spread Out entered the Billboard chart.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, it entered the Billboard chart.
Jump and Spread Out.
It was a big song international. It wasn't that big in Jamaica, but internationally it was a big song. They even invite us to perform at the Apollo.
Wow, that's
yeah, in
huge.
those days. Yeah. So it was a huge song. So it was good.
Okay, so you mentioned you veered into some production as well.
Yeah, we go in production. We had a label called, me and Anthony Red Rose, called Oh You Say That, and we produce a lot of big hit songs. Song with Cabra, big hit song, Don Wife, Beanie Man, Wicked Man. You know what I mean? And name it, Joe's the Whale, Leroy Smart. You know what I mean? Brian and Tony Gold. You know what I mean? Barry Salmon.
Okay.
We did it.
All right. So but for you, what was your first record? What did you put out for? Was it an
My first
album? Was
record-
it a single?
No,
What did you
it
do
was a
first?
single called Reggae Gone Cleared, produced by Edgar Parrish, from it's on a Parrish label. Yeah. it
Yeah?
was- yeah.
Reggae Gone. How did it do? Was it
It just played. It didn't do anything
special?
but it does big up my name, but it didn't make a big number one. But it was a good song, and it was my first song, so it was great, and it was our original song too. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, I guess it's like a lot of people will know people by their hits,
yeah.
but often it's not that often that the first song is a hit. So
Right.
You had to start somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great career, and for
Yeah.
those of you who know about Anthony Malvo, again, he's done great.
For
But
real, definitely.
as far as the career is concerned, share with us though what would stand out in your mind, maybe an incident or two that are considered highlights
Okay,
of your career.
I've a couple incidents, but the most one that stand out is when I went to France, in Paris. I went to France and I went to Paris, and the people don't really understand some of the English really. When
Yeah.
I was speaking to them, they don't understand English. No one understand no English. But when I was at the concert and singing the songs, they sing every song in English. Word for word. I couldn't understand. So, well, they must sing, how they doing this? It was kind of puzzling, but it was nice. And the turnout was good, and the support was good. They treat, it was a good vibe. You feel like a real star when you know what I mean? The
Right.
treatment that you get there, it's like, oh my God, it was, overwhelming. But it was nice. I love it.
I find that very fascinating because, there are songs we listen in our culture as well,
Yeah.
like a lot of reggaeton now.
Yeah.
And you get the rhythm, and sometimes you don't even get the word.
Yeah.
But when it's real catchy, you get it.
You get it. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I think it says a lot that if you're performing in front of a French audience
Yeah.
and they're singing with you,
You know that is right.
that's a great thing. That it
Yeah.
means they know the music. They're there genuinely because
Yeah.
they're fans. So, yeah, I can definitely revel in that moment.
Yeah,
I
man,
can
it was a good moment
feel
because
what you're
when they
talking
call
about.
in my name, when they call my name on stage and the applause that I get, I was so nervous. I hadn't been so nervous. I was so just the applause that I get, it was overwhelming. So it was a good vibe. I love it.
Awesome, man. Great to share. Yes, so there you have it. Man in France and the French people singing along to Mr. Malvo. They're
Definitely.
not the only ones singing to him right
Yeah,
now.
right, everyone.
And I tell you what, you had a brief hiatus, in terms of being on the front page and the headlines, but
Yeah.
you say you were producing, so
Yeah, we were producing, so we kind of, after a time, we said we want to move to a different level, and there was a lot of reducers, not producers.
wow.
You know what I mean? So we say, it's only best for us who know the business to
Yeah.
do the production. So we went, me and Anthony Red Rose, we come together and we went in the studio and started get a label and started produce some. We made some good songs. We made some real good songs in that time in the 90s. We made some good songs.
Right, and you mentioned one particular one in an earlier discussion about that you produced a hit with Beanie Man.
Yeah, Beanie Man called Wicked Man. I make a big hit with Cabra, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Captain Barkey,
Yeah.
that was a big song for him too. We had a rhythm called Quarter to 12.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was the one who produced that.
Oh, really?
Yes, that rhythm was a big rhythm in those
It
times.
was.
And then we produced other songs, Buju Banton, we produce everybody, everybody you can think about. We in the business, we really get
Okay.
a touch of it. And then after that, we finished with that label, and I have my own label called Real Music now. Now I have a label called Real Music.